All right, everybody. Welcome to Red Zone DFS. This is the Thursday night showdown edition for week 5. Yes, we're going to get right into it. Articles up. Go check out the website, redzonedfs.com. I kind of break down everything, but I'm just going to go over a few things real quick. Really interesting slate tonight. Division matchup. Seattle at home has traditionally not been the powerhouse that they really have been in the past at home. Over the past few years, they've typically tended to play a lot better on the road. But I think it's going to be a good game tonight. We get over and under 53, 54, depending on where you look. Rams are favored by 2.5. I think that's all pretty fair. Wow. The pricing on Cooper Kupp, highest priced player. DK is going to make it really difficult for you to play him, especially in the captain spot tonight. It's just, he is so expensive. It's going to be very, very difficult. If you're playing him in the captain spot, you're going to be paying $18,600 for him. That's more than Russell Wilson, which I think is a little aggressive, right? But on a site like DK, where you get a full point per reception and you get 6 points for receiving touchdowns instead of 4 for passing touchdowns, I think it's fair based on what he's done so far this year, right? So we got Cooper Kupp up top, then you got Russell Wilson, Matt Stafford, DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, Daryl Henderson, and Robert Woods. These guys are all, I think Russ is at a pretty fair price. I mean, for $400 more, I would much rather just play Russ if you're only going to play one quarterback. I do think it really, really makes sense in single entry and 3 max to play both quarterbacks. They're among the highest projected point totals for the game. Russ with the rushing upside, and I think that they're going to be playing from behind today. So I think you're going to see a lot more production than you did from the Niners game last week. I think he's a guy that you kind of just have to have in your lineup. So my captain's player pool for the Seattle side of the ball, the 3 captains I like the most are going to be Lockett, Wilson, or DK. So there's the narrative out there tonight that, I've talked about it on Twitter. Ramsey's going to see a lot of DK. That's just how things are going to work out. Now, I think that in a larger field tournament, that's actually advantageous to wanting to play DK at the captain spot. I think he's probably going to be somewhere between 5 to 8% owned in the captain spot. He's priced up. People are going to want to say, oh, man, Ramsey's going to be all over him. We can't play him, blah, blah, blah. I think you can play him just fine. He's an amazing athlete. He's going to get his, and they're going to have to pass the ball. And the great thing about the Seattle offense, it is very, very, very concentrated. Sure, every now and then you're going to get a random Freddie Swain touchdown, whatever. But for the most part, it's Lockett and DK. So you're going to play either of those guys in the captain spot. I'm good with it. You're going to play, Lockett. Obviously, I think he's a little bit cheaper, right? So if it's coming down to a pricing on either of those guys and you just need a little bit extra money, you can go Lockett right there. Russ, I mean, we talked about it, right? He's an expensive captain, but he's well warranted. With the rushing upside that he presents in this game, I think it's going to be a fantastic game script for him. Not only that, Rams get a lot of pressure up the middle, and he's going to be forcing him out to the edge. And a lot of those, Russ does look to throw first, but, a lot of those, 3, 4, 5, 10-yard pickups here and there. I've taken a look at a couple of the Russ Wilson rushing props, and they're in the mid-20s. That's something that I'm probably going to be pretty interested in based on the fact that I think he's going to be running quite a bit. So I think, 40 to 60 yards is well within the realm of possibilities for Russell Wilson tonight. On the Rams side of the ball, my favorite captains are going to be Daryl Henderson, Van Jefferson, and Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp, obviously, the only problem there is the price, right? He's just going to be really, really expensive. But being really, really expensive, I think, is going to mitigate his ownership in the captain spot specifically. I think it's going to mitigate his ownership overall just because it's going to be tough to build pretty decent lineups with him in the captain spot, right? Got the quarterbacks priced up. Do you want to play quarterback with him? Right there, I mean, you're taking up so much salary, it's going to be tough. But I think you still got to play him. Daryl Henderson, no injury tag coming into the week this week. I think he, has shown in the past that when he's healthy, he's going to get 90 to 94% of the snap share. Sonny Michel is not really a concern to me. They're going to run the ball as much as they can with Daryl Henderson. They just need to make sure that he can stay healthy. No injury designation tag coming into the week this week. I'm all over him. He's priced too cheaply for the volume that I think that he's going to get against one of the worst rushing defenses in the entire league that, for whatever reason, the Niners couldn't figure out how to exploit last week. Last one's going to be Van Jefferson. I don't get the pricing on this one. He's a second-year player. His targets and his workload is increasing on a week-to-week basis. So if you're telling me a guy's target and workload is increasing, his price should be going up, right? No, it's actually going down. I mean, it's just like, well, what is happening here? Last week on the main slate, 2,200. Like what? And then the last Showdown slate he was on with Tampa Bay, he was 4,400. He's only gone up 400 points from the last Showdown. That's not right. At the captain spot, you're saving $4,200 by playing Van Jefferson over Robert Woods. That is massive. He's out there more often than Robert Woods. He is their starting X receiver. I mean, that's where he is. He sticks there and he plays. I mean, at some point, people are going to have to start believing in Van Jefferson as a legitimate wide receiver. People forget Robert Woods kind of old. He's a really good player, right? But, I mean, his rookie season was 2014. I mean, he's been around for quite some time. 8 years in the league. People forgot about his whole career with Buffalo first, right? So, he's an older player. He's probably lost a step or two. He works a lot over the middle and intermediate, and that's where Seattle really excels. They've got Jamal Adams. They've got Bobby Wagner. It's one of the reasons why I'm fading Tyler Higbee tonight is that middle deep section of their defense is really, really good. It's really tough to exploit, right? That's why I think Cooper Kupp is still in play, even at his price range, and then Van Jefferson, who's going to basically get a lot of one-on-one work. I think it's going to be a really, really good matchup for him tonight. Flex plays, we kind of talked about it a little bit. Russ and Stafford, I think if you can get them both into your lineups, super advantageous. Playing a guy like Van Jefferson at the captain spot for, $8,400 is going to allow you to do some of those things, right? Desean Jackson, if you want to put him in there in a big GPP flyer, you can. He's getting the bomb targets. He had a good game last week, right? Everyone's going to see that. But he's just a little too expensive for me. I'm just pulling up his price again just to double check. Yeah, $4,400. For another $400, I could get the Van Jefferson, somebody who's out there consistently getting 8 to 10 targets, getting 6 to 8 receptions, getting touchdowns. Desean Jackson, as great as he is, right, he does his damage on a couple of plays. That last week, one catch against Tampa Bay, 3 for 120, right? You're just going to get that. He had that big touchdown. So you can put him in there. He's a boomer bust play, really low owned, but in my mind, I think it's just a little bit better, and you probably get a higher upside with a guy like Van Jefferson, who can also catch those deep touchdowns like we saw on week 1. Some other guys that are interesting, Henderson, we talked about him. Woods, I think he's a fine play. I just think he's a little bit too expensive, to be honest with you. At $7,600, if he fits into a lineup, great. He's not somebody I'm going to go out of my way to play. I think Travis Homer at $1,000 is pretty interesting. I'm fading Chris Carson tonight. I just think it's a terrible game script for him. I think that Russ is probably going to rush in 1 or 2 TDs down near the goal line. Again, the Rams have a stout front 7, and they play the run really well. I just don't think Chris Carson, who's banged up, not great. They've been using Alex Collins quite a bit. older player, not as explosive. Travis Homer's getting basically all of the passing down work, and I think there's going to be a lot of passing down situations here. And then obviously we talked about it, Locket and DK. They're two guys that if you can get in the lineups, great. You guys know on Showdown that I do like to play the kickers. I think they're, a decent spot. I think that, either one of them, basically whoever fits into your lineup. Usually I like playing kickers on the winning team. So, I think that the Rams are going to win tonight. Might be apt to lean a little bit more toward Matt Gay. Once they get up, if they're up 14 points, start making trips in the red zone, not converting. Sean McVay is just going to kick field goals. So I think, towards the end of the game, Seahawks will be trailing, right? This is what I'm predicting. This is not, obviously what's going to happen. But with Showdown, you really have to tell yourself a story based on how you think the game is going to go to create your lineups. If you're just all over the place with 3 to 4 lineups, you can't do that. You get too segregated, right? If you're playing 150 max, sure, you can get exposure to basically everybody at some sort of percentage, but I don't do that. I don't have the money to do all that. I don't want to blow, thousands of dollars on mass multi-entry in the Millie Maker. I want to play 3 to 4 lineups, play $50 to $60 on a Showdown slate, and really concentrate on the story of how I think the game is going to go. And if I think the Rams are going to win, Seattle's going to be coming from behind. That's less opportunities for field goals for their field goal kicker, because with that script and that story, they're going to be trailing. They'd rather go for a touchdown than kick a field goal, right? Pete Carroll's aggressive. He'll do that. So that's kind of where I'm going. Again, my two big fades of the night are going to be Chris Carson and Tyler Higbee. Tyler Higbee, for the same reason I was kind of talking about not playing Woods as the captain spot. They have a stout middle of the field, the 10 to 25 yard pass defense with Bobby Wagner patrolling the middle there, one of the top linebackers in the game. NFC West has some good ones with him and Fred Warner, and then you've got Jamal Adams back there as well. So those two guys are easy fades for me. Carson's a little bit banged up. I'm just not going to take a chance on a guy against a good run defense. So yeah, that's it. I think from a betting perspective, the Rams minus 2.5 are really attractive. I don't think that they're going to drop 2 division games in a row. And I think the over, I've seen it at 53 or 54, depending on where you can get it. I think that's a really attractive play tonight. I see this game going like 34-21, 34-24. Something like that, and it should get over. I'm predicting somewhere between 58 and 60 points. So 53, 54. I think you're safe either way there. And that's it. Red Zone DFS. Follow me at JJ McIntosh, and good luck with Week 5 Thursday Night Showdown, everybody. Thank you.